everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the weirdest, wackiest, and most bizarre laws from around the globe. You won't believe some of these. We're talking about laws that'll make you scratch your head and say, wait, what? From chewing gum to flushing toilets, these laws are straight up bonkers. So buckle up because we're about to take a wild ride through the world's most bizarre legal systems. First up, we're heading over to Singapore, a country known for its cleanliness and order. And let me tell you, they take their cleanliness seriously, like really seriously. Chewing gum? Forget about it. That's right, chewing gum is completely banned in Singapore. I'm talking about all kinds of gum, from your classic bubble gum to the minty fresh stuff. The government decided to ban it back in 1992 because people were leaving gum all over the place, sticking it under benches, on sidewalks, even on public transportation. Can you imagine the mess? They tried everything from fining people to public awareness campaigns, but nothing seemed to work. So they decided to take drastic measures and ban it altogether. And guess what? It worked! Singapore is now one of the cleanest countries in the world. But hey, at least they have amazing food, right? Next up, we're jetting off to Switzerland, the land of chocolate, cheese, and silent flushing. Okay, this one might sound crazy, but in Switzerland, it's illegal to flush your toilet after 10 p.m. in some apartment buildings. I know, it sounds ridiculous, right? But there's actually a good reason behind it. You see, the Swiss value their peace and quiet, especially at night. And let's be real, nobody wants to be woken up by the sound of a flushing toilet in the middle of the night. So, to avoid any late-night noise complaints, they decided to make it illegal to flush after a certain hour. They figure, hey, if you gotta go that bad, just hold it till morning, right? Alright, this next one is a little morbid, but trust me, it's interesting. In the small Italian town of Falciano del Masico, it's illegal to die. You heard me right. You can't just kick the bucket there. Now, before you think they have some crazy zombie situation going on, let me explain. See, Falciano del Masico is facing a bit of a population crisis. They have a very small population, and with people dying and not enough babies being born, the town was literally shrinking. So, the mayor decided to get creative and ban death. Of course, it's more of a symbolic law meant to encourage people to have more children and bring new life into the town. They even offer financial incentives to families who decide to settle down and have kids in Falciano del Masico. Hey, whatever it takes to keep the town alive, right? Chapter 4. Don't call your pig Napoleon in France. Hold on to your baguettes because this next one is about France. Now, we all know the French take their history seriously, but this law is next level. In France, it's illegal to name your pig Napoleon. Yeah, you heard that right. No piggies running around with the name of the famous French emperor. Apparently, this law has been around since the 19th century, and it all stems from Napoleon Bonaparte himself. You see, back in the day, Napoleon wasn't too fond of people comparing him to pigs. I mean, can you blame him? So he decided to pass a law making it illegal to insult him by naming a pig after him. And guess what? That law is still in effect today. So if you're ever in France and thinking about getting a pet pig, maybe steer clear of the name Napoleon. Chapter 5. Handling salmon suspiciously in the UK? Busted. Alright, let's cross the English Channel and head over to the UK for our next bizarre law. Get ready to laugh because this one is a doozy. In the UK, it's illegal to handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. I'm serious! This law comes from the Salmon Act of 1986, which was put in place to prevent illegal fishing and protect salmon populations. But the wording of the law is so vague and open to interpretation that it's become a bit of a running joke. What exactly constitutes suspicious circumstances when it comes to handling a salmon? I mean, are you not supposed to look the salmon in the eye? Can you only handle it with a certain type of glove? Nobody really knows for sure. But hey, if you're ever in the UK and find yourself holding a salmon, just make sure you do it with confidence and a smile. You know, just to be safe. Chapter 6. Australia says no to DIY Batmen and Robins. G'day, mates! We're heading down under to Australia for this next one. Now, we all know Australians are known for their laid-back attitude, but even they have their limits. In Australia, it's illegal to dress up as Batman and Robin. Yeah, you heard me right. No fighting crime in Gotham City for you. This law might seem strange, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. You see, the Australian police take impersonating a law enforcement officer very seriously. And while Batman and Robin might be superheroes, they're not technically part of the Australian police force. So, to avoid any confusion or potential legal issues, it's best to leave the crime fighting to the professionals. Plus, imagine the chaos if everyone started dressing up as superheroes and running around. It'd be like a comic book convention gone wrong. Chapter 7. Japan's Weight Watch. Can you believe this law? Next stop, Japan, land of the rising sun, sushi, and mandatory weight limits? Believe it or not, in Japan there's a law that basically says you can't be overweight. It's called the Metabo Law, and it was introduced to combat rising obesity rates and healthcare costs. Under this law, companies and local governments are required to measure the waistlines of their employees and citizens aged 40 to 74. If someone exceeds the government-set limits, they're given health counseling and encouraged to lose weight. Now, before you start freaking out about being thrown in jail for having that extra slice of pizza, it's important to note that there are no actual penalties for exceeding the limits. The goal is more about raising awareness and encouraging people to live healthier lifestyles. Chapter 8. Canada's coin conundrum: don't pay with too much change. Alright, let's head on over to Canada, eh? Land of maple syrup, hockey and coin limits? That's right, in Canada there's a law that prevents you from paying for things with too many coins. It's called the Currency Act, and it basically states that you can't use more than a certain amount of coins for any given transaction. For example, you can't pay for a $10 item with 1,000 pennies. I know it sounds crazy, right? But there's actually a practical reason behind it. Handling large amounts of coins can be time-consuming and inconvenient for both customers and businesses. Imagine counting out hundreds of pennies at the checkout line. So, the Currency Act is in place to streamline transactions and prevent any coin-related chaos. Chapter 9. Step away from the baht, Thailand's respectful law. Next up, we're traveling to Thailand, the land of smiles, temples, and a very unique law about money. In Thailand, it's considered highly disrespectful to step on money, especially banknotes that feature the image of the king. This law is rooted in Thai culture, where the king is held in high regard and considered semi-divine. Stepping on his image is seen as a grave insult, not just to the monarchy, but to the entire country. So if you're ever in Thailand, be mindful of where you step. You definitely don't want to accidentally disrespect the king or offend any locals. It's always best to be respectful of other cultures and their customs. Chapter 10. Don't forget your anniversary. Samoa's law for forgetful spouses. Last but not least, we're heading to the beautiful islands of Samoa for our final bizarre law. Get ready for this one, fellas, because it might make you sweat a little. In Samoa, it's illegal to forget your wife's birthday. That's right, if you value your freedom and your marriage, you better mark that date on your calendar and set a million reminders. This law might seem funny, but it actually reflects the importance of family and relationships in Samoan culture. Forgetting your wife's birthday is seen as a major sign of disrespect and could even land you in hot water with the law. So if you're ever lucky enough to marry someone from Samoa, make sure you brush up on your gift-giving skills and never ever forget that special day. Outro. Which law was the most bizarre? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our exciting content. Let us know in the comments which law you found the most bizarre. Was it the chewing gum ban in Singapore? The silent flushing in Switzerland? Or maybe the no dyeing rule in Italy? We want to hear from you. And hey, if you know of any other bizarre laws from around the world, drop them in the comments below. We might just feature them in our next video. Until next time, stay curious.